Have you ever noticed that the moment you want something really, really badly, a sign, reassurance, healing, closure, anything at all, it suddenly becomes impossible to let go? This is because this is not just desire. This is not just desire for a sign, for reassurance, for closure, for healing. It's attachment. And it's so deeply rooted in our human minds that we cannot even escape it sometimes. But this is why I'm making this video, to help you let go. How you can let go when you desperately and obsessively want to happen something in your life. So today I wanted to start with a personal story because it literally happened today. So I felt really, really called to make this video for you. Letting go for me personally in terms of my inner healing, it's been a long road. It shows up differently in different phases of my life. Every single time I attack it from a different route, from a different aspect. And that's why today I would like to dive deeper into how you can let go and what's truly behind that gripping, that attachment. This story reminded me why it's so hard sometimes to let go when we deeply desire something. How surrender actually works. Contrary to popular belief, it's not about giving up and without bypassing your desire. Again, this is not about giving up. This is about releasing control. So life, God, universe, whatever you believe in can meet you there. If you're new here, hi, my name is Chrisana, basically psychological life coach. And if you've been here before, hi, welcome back. And yeah, let's get into the video. So last week I went on a forest walk with my sister. And so we're just walking, taking in the nature, taking in the forest, taking in the day. I had with me the electrolytes water, but I don't pour it into a bottle. Sometimes I just bring my glass and my metal straw because this is what I do. I like doing that, okay? And somewhere along the way, I noticed I didn't have on me the metal straw anymore. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to leave behind any garbage into nature. Oh, let's find it. And so we started searching for it. But of course, it wasn't easy to go back to all the places we have walked so far. And so then we let it go. We didn't obsess over it. We said, oh, well, this kind of stuff happens. What can you do? And so today I went to this forest again. I went for my usual walk, taking in the nature, admiring the view, the abundance of trees, of nature, listening to the birds, just being my usual self, being present and grounded with it all around me. Suddenly, I noticed my attention shifting. I found myself scanning the ground, searching and constantly looking around for cues. I was searching for this metal straw again. And the truth is, it wasn't just about cleaning the forest and doing the right thing for nature. I could feel this attachment creeping in, control, fixation. And in that moment, I caught myself. I stopped walking for a second. And then I thought, what the F am I doing? God, what is going on? Why did something from the past, something already gone, pull me out of my present, joyous, peaceful nature walk? And that's when I heard God, universe, source, call it what you want, reminding me that if something belongs in the past, maybe it means that you actually don't need it anymore. And then I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna listen to you. Even though it's hard to stop searching for this metal straw, I don't wanna, leave it behind. I wanna leave the forest clean and yada, yada, yada. I'm just gonna go back to enjoying my walk as usual. So in that moment, I made a choice. I consciously chose to let go. Not in a dramatic way, not in a spiritual bypassing way. All of me, I let go. Mentally, somatically, and with all of my soul too, spiritually too. I dropped the search. My nervous system softened. I naturally returned to the walk. And then I kept listening to the birds, noticing the trees, noticing the droplets because it was raining today. And I felt my body again being actually on my walk. Then I let it be. Before I left the forest, there are 2 trees that I really like there. So I wanted to say hi and goodbye at the same time to the tree that I didn't see today. And so even though it was raining, I felt this call to go back from the other side and just say hi. The moment I arrived there, right in front of the tree, the metal straw was there. Perfectly visible, like untouched. Nobody touched it, nothing. It was just there. I stood there completely stunned. Something in me knew that I'm gonna find it at some point, but I didn't expect to find it the same day, the same hour even. Because when God asks me to do things, it means that he's gonna provide, so I trust him. He told me to trust him. And so I laughed and I said, I see you, God. I see what you're doing right now. Thank you. Thank you for this reminder. And not because I found the straw. It wasn't about the straw. It was about God reminding me to trust him even more, even deeply. It was about God reminding me what happens when I let go. Things actually turn out to my advantage when I let them go. And again, this is not about giving up, but I'm gonna get into that in a bit. Here's the deeper layer. Letting go is hardest when the desire is incredibly strong, and even harder when the desire turns into control. Most people now might think that the problem is the desire, but we're humans. This is how we operate. We have desires. It's so embedded in our DNA. If we didn't have desires, there wouldn't be a point in creating new things and keep living. So wanting something is not the problem. Desire on itself is not the actual issue. It's a nervous system problem. And that's about gripping. That's so intertwined with perfectionism. And that's why I made a video on perfectionism and how to stop being in this state of constantly wanting to perfect every single thing in our lives. In 20 minutes, I explain what's the reasoning behind it, how to spot it, and how to stop being in this fixated state of wanting everything to be perfect. Essentially being in this state of wanting to control everything and everyone around you. So I'm gonna leave the link here. I don't want to repeat anything here, so feel free to watch that. It's gonna help you so much. So when we want something deeply and we go into this state of fight in terms of nervous system response, we are in this state of searching, gripping, fixing, retrieving, and essentially not allowing things to just be. But here's what letting go or surrendering says. What's meant for me doesn't require force. It requires trust. I don't need to abandon myself to secure my future. And that's not passivity. That's not about giving up your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your desires, anything at all. It's about trusting. It's about having faith in your journey, in God, in universe, in source. Again, call it what you want, in whatever you believe in. And that's the funny thing that happens with faith, with trust. When you learn to have faith in external situations and let go of control, of gripping for fixing things externally, you learn to trust yourself. That's how you become confident, not by faking it, but by actually trusting life. Because when you trust, you actually also align your actions. You know when you need to act and how to act. Contrary again to popular belief, letting go, it's action in itself. Because you know what doesn't require force, what doesn't require this constant performance and this constant pressure to produce. You know when it's time to just be and let go. And this is exactly where the feminine wisdom lives. Not chasing, but allowing. Letting go doesn't mean you stop wanting something. It means you stop squeezing life so tightly to the point it cannot be moved. Sometimes what you are being asked to release, it's not the thing itself. It's the version of you who believes control equals safety. And when you let go, you make space for presence, for trust, for life, God, universe to meet you where you are, to meet you where you're going. And for me, it wasn't about the straw itself too. It was about being reminded of what happens when I let go of control, when I let go of hyperfixating on things that don't actually matter, and what happens when I actually allow myself to be with nature, be with God, just be with myself too. And so letting go is actually being present with it all. Letting go is about being. And so how can you actually let go? You can let go by doing those three things. You can let go by actually being present with yourself, with it all, being present with what is actually there for you truly. For me, it was that I needed this time for myself. I needed to be in nature, be with God, be with the trees, be in the forest, and not being somewhere else mentally, cognitively. It was actually not bypassing that I was feeling sad and I have this grief in my life right now. I'm going through different layers of grief, of letting go of my past self, and actually allowing space for both grief and for my deep need to be in nature and be with the trees, be with myself, be with God, just being present with it all. So for you, it might look like entirely differently. Maybe there are difficult emotions coming to the surface, like anger, resentment, guilt, disappointment, maybe even grief like me, and you're not allowing yourself to be with them. Instead, you're trying to repress them, suppress them, avoid them. And so what happens is you are clinging for control externally. So you might be trying to clean the house, tackle other responsibilities, and not allowing yourself to be with those emotions. That's why the first thing is to be present. This is how we naturally let go. So you can also think of this like holding your breath. Just try it out. See for yourself how long can you hold the breath. This is exactly what you do when you are trying to grasp for control and you are not letting go. You are actually trying to hold your breath. Energetically and emotionally, this is what happens. The other thing is you let go of the fear that's underneath all of those difficult emotions. Usually there's fear underlying. It was a lot of fear underneath my grief. There's a lot of fear, especially under the anger. So when we actually let go of the fear, what's the worst case scenario? For me, it was not finding that straw ever again and leaving garbage behind. For you, it might look like entirely differently. I would strongly advise to sit with yourself and ask yourself those difficult questions. Even journal it out. It's going to help so much to bring clarity. And when clarity comes, letting go also follows, or the opposite way. They are so intertwined. As I mentioned, it's not about letting go mentally or just saying that you can let go and then just distracting your thoughts. Because when we do that, we are actually trying to fool ourselves, and that's gonna be revealed. If we are trying to fool ourselves mentally and cognitively, time will reveal. And then it's like a pressure cooker. We're gonna erupt. Other things might happen if we do that chronically, especially. So distracting ourselves is not gonna work. We cannot just cheat our way through letting go. It's about being willing to be truthful with yourself and let go somatically in your body. So maybe you need to do some kind of work around letting go, dropping your shoulders more frequently. So it's more of a multidimensional process because as humans, we are multidimensional. The third thing is that it's really important to investigate your expectations of certain situations in your life. So when we desire things to the point it turns to control, we are actually expecting things, and that can turn against us because when we have subconscious expectations, those are blocking us from our desires and wants in life. When they are conscious, that's a whole another story. We can work with them easier. So investigate if you have subconscious expectations of certain desires, because maybe there's internal conflict within yourself. One part of you really wants that, but the other one, maybe it doesn't truly want that thing. Maybe it was conditioned to believe you want this kind of life. That was the video for today. I know it's a bit different from other videos, so let me know in the comments. How did you find that? I hope this message found you exactly the right time when you are gripping tightly for something you truly desire in your life, and I hope it helped you so much. This is your reminder. You don't need to force it. You don't need to change it. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. Maybe allow yourself to let go a bit today, a bit tomorrow, taking it day by day. Or if you need to, you can let go all at once, but I wouldn't usually suggest that. That's the exception to the rule. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon. Bye.